Good morning, bird brains, and welcome back to the Paris, Texas world record attempt trip vlog documentary thing. I don't even know what this is. Day 3, me, Uncle Ken, and Miss Bird are about to pack up and head back down to San Antonio. It's about 400 miles. Again, we're taking the same route we took on the way up here, and I'm not looking forward to it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sore, very sore. My butt, my feet, my legs, my arms. But you know what? It's just what we gotta do. So I wanna quit bitching, go load up the bike so we can head south.
3 days later.
Alright guys, so there is no day 3 video, and let me kind of explain why. So we took off early that Sunday morning and pretty much rode straight home. Of course we had the stops and everything like that, but aside from that there really wasn't anything exciting going on. Also, I was still having GoPro issues. I think I have found out the reason why. I think there was a short in the power cable. I'm fairly certain I've gotten that fixed, but there's really no way to know until we get out and start testing it some more. But should be good on that front. At least I did determine that it was not an actual GoPro issue. The camera itself is good. We also got rained on quite a bit. About 2.5 hours of the 6 or 7 hour ride was, I mean, I'm not talking about drizzling, I'm talking about actual downpour. Not very fun. I did make it all the way without burning my rain gear until I pulled into the garage and then put my foot down and burnt my rain gear onto my exhaust once again. So that was cool. But of course with it raining, we have to pack all the cameras away because the Motovlog Set Ups are not waterproof. The GoPro, when it's in its case and everything, is waterproof, but if you plug any accessories into it, of course, no longer waterproof. But I still did want to make a video to kind of recap the events of the weekend and kind of talk to you guys about some of the things that maybe weren't clear in the video. First off, I did want to let you guys know that I had an absolute blast. I kind of mentioned that at the end of the day 2 video, but it was one of the best events that I've ever been to. The people were great. The city was so happy to have us. Everyone there showed awesome hospitality. And even though the event kind of looked like a shit show, it actually was ran very well. It's just when you're dealing with those kind of numbers, you have to have a large amount of staff. And with Paris Harley-Davidson, even though they had a bunch of volunteers and stuff, they were just understaffed, and that's all it boils down to. But even with that being said, I didn't talk to a single person that had such a bad time that they would not come back again. Pretty much everyone I talked to said they had a blast. It was so much fun. They were of course bummed that we didn't get the record, but everyone kind of had a sense of excitement because we get to all go and do it again. We get to go relive that awesome experience and hopefully come away with a victory. I know for sure I will be there no matter what. I'm gonna make the trip again for sure. I also talked to my dad and he said he's going because he's now retired, so he literally has nothing to do but go and ride bikes, which is awesome. But I did want to touch on why we did not break the record. I know if you watch Adam's video, he kind of touched on it. I want to touch on it a little bit differently than he did. I think he left some details out, or maybe I'm just getting wrong information. I don't know. But first off is that the numbers just were not there. I know we had over 2,600 pre-registered, so it seemed like we were going to hit it no problem. There's also two main factors why that created false hope, and it kind of, you can point the fingers 2 ways. Either one, the website did not make it clear that they did not want the metric bikes to pre-register, and also when people were looking at the pre-registration numbers, they were just looking at the numbers alone. They were not filtering out any non-HD VIN numbers, which would have been extremely easy to do if it was plugged into any sort of Excel sheet. I mean, that's neither here nor there. So a lot of those numbers were metric bikes, and they were invited to the parade. So one part of the video that I did not truly like, it really, in my mind, it looked bad on the Harley culture, is when they announced that people use these bikes, people booed them.
We also had people who registered and they did not register with a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. They used a Honda or a Yamaha or a Victory. Unfortunately, those don't count, and they create false records for us, and I cannot present a plaque tonight.
And the reason I have a problem with that is that they were invited. They did follow directions, but they did cause a problem. Reason being is that it was hot that day, and I'm coming from South Texas. That was very hot for North Texas. I believe it was like 88 degrees, about 80% humidity. And the way that the bikes stacked up, which that was a whole nother process. The bike stacked up is because it was only a 2-mile route. At the end of that 2-mile route, they had 2 girls on each side of the line taking a tag off of the wristband, and that was one of the ways that they counted who finished the route. Now, the reason that causes problems is because you have to stop, get the wristband taken off, and then you move. It's the same as stop and go traffic. The person in front of you stops, it just creates a slingshot or accordion effect throughout the entire line, and that line was the full 2 miles long, if not longer. So it took us an hour and a half to go 2 miles, or hour and 22 minutes if I'm being specific, and we were probably closer to the front of the line, so it probably got longer as the day went on. So with that being said, 88 degrees, air-cooled Harleys just sitting there, the bike's just baked, really. Like, even mine got up to about 350 degrees plus. If I had not just got my bike serviced, I probably would have been one of the ones that pulled over. Now, that's not to say that bikes broke down. They just overheated because we were literally doing the opposite of what these bikes are made for. And so when people were pulling over, they might not have even been overheating. They might have gotten hand cramps from the clutch. They might have just gotten their balls were starting to sweat too much from, you know, sitting in pretty much a parking lot with your bikes running, and they just pull over the side. Well, the reason that created a problem is because all the metrics at the back just came on through. And once one metric crosses the finish line, that's it. No more Harleys after that were counted towards the final number. Once again, no issues with the metrics because they were just doing what they were told. They should have had the metrics weighted until all the bikes had left or finished. Because I'm pretty sure they held them until they left, but with the guys on the side of the road not knowing when the end of the Harley line was, all the metric bikes got in front of them, they did not count. And then last but not least, we had people that show up to the event and then refuse to register their VIN number. Now that to me is kind of shady because, you know, the bikes might be stolen or they might have insurance claims or insurance fraud on them. So that was kind of sketchy. We also had people show up that did not have a motorcycle license. Of course, they weren't able to register because they're not licensed to ride. So it was kind of a 50-50 as far as the organizers and the participants. Definitely a lot of lessons learned, and that's one thing that I talked to Adam Sandoval about is we don't fail, we just learn. So for next year, I expect to see a bunch of changes, a lot more staff. The area and event actually wasn't too bad. Of course, it got overcrowded with just like two gas stations in the area. We went to one of them, the line was wrapped around the entire store. It was insane, but everyone was polite, everyone was patient, everything got taken care of that needed to be done. So really all we need to do is get more numbers. And I talked to Maxwell, and he agrees that the other motovloggers need to be more in tune with it and more of a collaborated effort than it was this time, because it's pretty much just me and Maxwell and Sandoval were the only people talking about it. We had a lot of people that we talked to that came in from all over the place, and they said every time they stopped at a Harley dealership and they told them where they were going, the dealership had no idea what they were talking about. And that brings me to my next point, is the lack of involvement from corporate Harley. Sandoval touched very well on this, but I think one thing that he missed out on is that this event was scheduled 2 weeks after the anniversary, the 115th anniversary party. How many people are going to be able to attend an event in Milwaukee and an event in Texas within 2 weeks of each other? Probably not the best time to schedule it along with the heat. Now in Texas, it's weird because if you get outside the heat, you get into the rainy seasons, which is just going to cause even more of a problem. But I think we could have pushed it back a little bit, and I think that's probably what he will do during the next attempt. But it needs to be separated from the bigger events. For example, we have the 115th anniversary and Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue right in between it. So it's like people can't attend everything. They have to pick and choose what they need. So I think a longer notification so people can kind of pick and choose what they want to go to is going to be crucial for success next time. So I am disappointed in corporate Harley's lack of promoting this event, but at the same time, I can understand it because they're not going to make money with people coming to the world record event. They make money with people coming to the 115th anniversary party. So as long as they're far enough apart from their events, I don't think they'd have a problem with promoting it. Maybe, I don't know. There might, as far as I know, there's no bad blood between them and Sandoval, so I don't understand why they wouldn't, but no one really knows the truth behind that besides the two parties involved. But to wrap this video up, guys, like I said in the beginning, I had an absolute blast. It has just solidified the fact that I'm going to be getting a bagger in the future, because doing 400 miles in a dyno was doable, but it definitely was not pleasant. I probably could go a little bit further, but 400 miles is probably my daily cap. I did rock the new Airhawk seat pad, which I didn't tell you guys about because it's kind of a last minute thing, but I will be doing a review on that. And I also will be doing a review on the Biltwell bag, since I've finally had a chance to kind of put them through the paces. Spoiler alert, they did awesome. So I want to extend another thank you. I know I mentioned it in day 1 and day 2, I think, but thank you so much to everyone who came out and took pictures and said hi and just told me your story, told me where you came from. It was just awesome to meet both current subscribers and then just people coming up and saying, hey, what's with the camera? And I talked to them and they were all about it. Met people from New York, Washington, Pennsylvania, Virginia, literally all over the country. So it was just awesome to get out and meet people, which is weird because I usually don't like doing that. But when it's Harley related and it's channel related, I love doing it. So thank you. If you didn't get a picture with me because I look like an asshole, I'm sorry, that's just my face. But you can ask anyone who came up and asked for a picture. I love taking pictures, I love talking to you guys, so please don't hesitate to come and talk to me next time. But with that being said, that is going to do it for today's episode. I also got a new camera. I don't know if you can tell. After this weekend, I was like, I need something different. I need something with an autofocus that doesn't suck and it's not 115 pounds. So got the new Canon G7X Mark II. Hopefully you guys can tell the difference, and hopefully it looks a-okay. But if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.